Hey guys, we're going to deploy our front end for our Slack clone. I'm going to deploy it to Surge, but feel free to deploy it to pretty much any place that allows static uploads. Reason I chose this is because it's easy and free. So before we actually do deploy this, there's one quick change we need to make, and that's to point our URL or our connection to this IP address, because this is where our Vultr server is running. So I haven't touched anything from the last video with my Vultr server. So the way we're going to be doing this is I don't want to break basically it locally, so we're going to store this in an environment variable. So the way environment variables work with create React app is you first have to prefix them with React app. So let's copy that. We need to make sure to prefix it with that. Secondly, we can create these .env files. One for development, so I'm going to create a .env.development and a .env.production. So when we run this, when I build, it's going to take it from the .env production, and I run this from npm start, we're just going to get it from development. So .env.development. I'm going to create a React app server URL, and I'm just going to set that to localhost 8081 and go ahead and prefix that with HP. Okay. So this is what's going to run when I do this locally, and then when I build this to production, we're going to be using this, and then we just want to change this to the IP address that we are given in Vultr. Basically, if you're using different VPS, whatever URL they give you to access it, you want to put here. I think that should be the right thing. And now we just need to build it and actually use it in our Apollo.js. So instead of using this, we're going to use a string template now. And just get process.env.react app server URL. So I'm going to copy that because we also have this for our subscriptions. So copy you. And the very bottom of our file down here, we have the WebSocket connection. And we don't have the domain. Okay. So we're going to do this actually a little bit differently than I first thought. So since we need to put WebSockets here, I'm just going to store the host. So let's put HTTP back there. And then copy that, paste it here. So over here, I'm not going to put all this stuff in front of it. Oops, did the totally wrong thing. So we don't need HTTP here since we're going to have that in, we're basically going to say whether it's a WebSocket or HTTP connection in Apollo.js. We just need to know who the host server is. So when we're developing, it'll go localhost otherwise. So now we just need to build this. I'm in my Slack clone client. I can just run npm run build, and what it'll do is it'll take our React project and build it into static HTML and JavaScript files, and it puts it in this folder called build. And if we look at package.json, we can see what's being run. So it's this React scripts, and it's just building it for us. Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and install Surge. So I ran npm install global Surge, and then when you run Surge for the first time, it'll you have to put in your email and password and create an account. So let's see if this is done building over here. We'll let this finish building, and when it's done, we'll go ahead and just run Surge on it. It's going to be done. All we have to do is point our Surge to this build, and we can see in a little bit there'll be a JavaScript file with all our code bundled and minified. It's pretty cool. Okay, it's done running, and we can see this is what the output is, and you can see the static stuff, and you can look more into that if you like. But now we're just going to run Surge, and I'm going to point it to my folder. My folder here is just build, so build, and I'm going to hit enter for this elated paste is my URL, I suppose. Alright, now let's go check out the project. So running here, I don't think, yeah, we shouldn't see anything, but if I go to register, I should be able to register a new one. Okay, page not found. Also, something we need to do, I forgot about, is in Vultr over here. I'm going to just say docker compose down. ls. Okay, I went ahead and created a files and pgdata folder. I forgot to make those. Looks like it makes it by default. That's good. So I'm guessing the problem with this and that we can't get the /register working is because of React Router. Because this does work, and we even see our React app here. This is a problem with the redirects, and the fixed redirects on different services is different, so I'm going to cut the video real quick and figure out how to do redirects with Surge. Okay guys, I figured out what we needed to do. So with Surge, we need to call our HTML file 200.html. That way it catches any URL the user puts. So instead of index.html, we're going to call this 200.html. And then I'm just going to redeploy with Surge. Go ahead and build responsible honey. And now when I go to /register or something, it won't get a bad page. It should just redirect to our site. And oh, I forgot to confirm that's my domain I want. Okay. /register. Awesome, now we see our register for our accounts. So I can say create my usual Bob account, bob@bob.com. And I think I turned off the server. I did, so docker compose up. Boot this guy back up real quick. And then when that finishes booting up, we'll try registering an account and making sure WebSockets work and all that jazz. So let's submit again. Awesome, looked like that worked. We'll log in. Creating a team. Oops. Not now. Team 1. Submit. And looks like team 1 got created. Testing WebSockets. Looks like WebSockets works okay. Images should break because we are not specifying the URL, if you remember that. And we can fix that if we wanted to. So in our docker compose, we can set an environment variable for our resolver, I believe. So if we look at our message resolver, we're expecting the server URL. That way we can serve the images good. But I'm gonna be changing my server URL at least, but if you want to, server URL, oops, you can create an variable right here, server URL, and set the URL, your IP address. That way you'll be able to access it. But pretty cool. So now you should be able to deploy any of your React applications with a Node.js server with Docker using basically what we just did. So building your static React application and sending it up to Surge or another place that serves static files, and then your backend you can use Docker like we did. Set up a virtual private machine and then Docker run. So next steps I want to do with this project is we're getting very close to the end. I want to try to get HTTPS working, and also I'm going to go ahead and take down my Vultr machine because it costs money to keep it running, but I do want to have this like just a live site so people can come check it out. So Surge is free, and so I think I'm going to set this up also on AWS. So I'll probably make another video soon in the future setting this up with AWS because that's going to be free for me, at least for a little bit. And then set up a EC2 instance, but it's going to look very similar to what we just did today, where we SSH into our machine, set everything up, and then we're good to go. But pretty cool. And now anyone can come to this URL and check this out. But probably by the time you're watching this, I will have taken this down. But very soon I'll put it back up for Docker or on AWS. But that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching.